Hello, Gary?
Yeah,
Hi.
okay.
Hi. I guess we're getting started with our interview for today. Um, First of all, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. And you, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. We're actually now, I know, officially opening our studio over here in of Ish News. We kind of like set it up some kind of like small studio to, I know, try to broadcast all our things that we do over here. And so welcome to our new studio. And over here, Yara, you with me? Yeah. Okay. And
That's okay. Not to get larger. Yeah, go on.
I will get started with the way that we got to know each other. I was interested in going to the Amsterdam convention, and I guess that you were the guy in charge of the registration or whatever. I approached you, and from there we kind of like kept on going. Besides like the registration and all the things that was needed for the convention, we kind of like thought about doing all kinds of other stuff over there in the convention. And once we got there, we met you. We got to know you personally, and of course we did like all the interviews that we previously put on our channel. And just besides the fact that they did like a professional job with organizing the convention and everything, I also like discovered that you're a fun and nice person that just fun to be around with and to talk to. Just explain a little bit first off about the convention itself. What was your position over there, your role, your whatever official things that you did over there?
I have to. I can't really take the major credit for this because even though I was actively involved, Geely, my co-organizer, she took the lead on a fair bit of talking to the convention, talking to the campsite, trying to organise everything. And what I was doing was I was behind the scenes and to help. Because obviously, as you can imagine, some things need to be paid for up front. So obviously, I helped with that, and we obviously had ongoing chats. The other thing we did is we went there in April to go to the venue, go to the campsite, and we'd also go back a little while before when I was organising the UK convention in April 2018. Dee and I came across each other in 2017, and to be fair, even though she's not exactly a person that likes to be on stage, as you probably noticed 2 weeks ago, even when I spoke to her on Skype, she was really nervous, and it's not something that she was used to and whatever. So I think on this one, where I was like the main organizer for the UK, and then I brought Didi on board to be like an equal co-organizer.
Yeah,
On this one,
we actually met her, and she's lovely. She's lovely. She's
and
charming in person. I know she doesn't like to be in front of the camera, but we really impressed from her like character and easygoing, and it was
yeah.
great to have her as a host.
The only thing is she's easygoing, but also we are, it's almost like the duck, isn't it? The swan or whatever. They're paddling like crazy underneath the surface, but it looks serene above. But no, before I actually, before you paint me as being this organizer and done a fantastic job, I really need to give credit to Dee really because as I was actively involved, but she took on the lion's share of like the uh, after the initial getting it all set up, it was the ongoing mundane work which was done, but it's not an easy task. So I do need to give credit to Dee.
Hmm. Good, good. So Didi, credit for you from Ish News and John over here. Gary, sorry. And in general, the work that you did over there, you're satisfied with how the convention went on and with what went down over there, the people that met up, the speakers, all of that?
Yeah, I think because obviously, as you probably know, we were going to do a weekend event, and part of that was going to be Nathan Oakley was going to debate a physicist, or maybe even Mike Kavanagh, and they were going to try and get a physicist to try and help us, to actually have a debate on stage. And it was going to be 2 days, but then all of a sudden we found that the interest on the Sunday was very lacking. And even though the Saturday was better, we had to make a decision on what to do, and it was literally the options were: do we carry on as we are, do we change it, or do we end up just cancelling the whole thing? And it was one of those, we had to go through like a 3-week window of press deciding what to do. We spent money on the event, and also put in the effort, and obviously we're trying to put in time to organise speakers and people bought tickets. We went through a bit of a hard, I don't know when it was actually, I don't know if it was in May, or maybe, I think it may have been June actually, and in the end we chose that the one-day event was the absolute best thing. But to answer your question specifically, I personally thought it was a fantastic day, but what you've got to bear in mind is that because I'm running from interview to interview and running around and I don't have 2 seconds myself, my view of it may be different to, say, your view, or a person that was literally didn't do any interviews, just sat there and listened to it all and just spoke to people. Their view may be different again, but the feedback I've had from people is it was very positive, and they're hoping that I do something else, or even I do something else because they loved it so much. So I would have to say, to answer your question specifically, I thought it was fantastic, but I'm a little bit biased.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. And actually, I want to speak to you about these interviews. Besides that it was like a great pleasure, to go back to Israel and edit them and publish them and get the feedbacks, of course. There's one other thing that kind of like struck me while I was doing it. The thing is that I actually enjoyed it. Enjoyed like the conversation with the flat earthers. As like in the last 6 months or so, since I started meeting Israeli flat earthers and now like meeting in person people from abroad. So once I got started speaking with them, I kind of like realized or got that feeling that it's actually a lot of fun to speak to flat earthers. You always get like a very open-minded conversation. You always get like lots of like sparks of realization or agreement or things like that you don't get used to get them with when talking with ordinary people, not flat earthers. And it kind of like struck me down, and I kind of like I went to Amsterdam, and I thought about doing the ESH show and doing some kind of an interview or documentary or whatever. And I realized that doing the interviews and meeting the people and speaking with the people is for me the most important thing, because I know my mind opens up better, and I feel like that when I'm asking the questions, this is where I'm getting the best answers, and this is what's thrilling to me personally. So this is what I decided I want to get involved in in Flat Earth. Okay, I want to focus on the people of Flat Earth. Okay, the actual people and what are their thoughts, because if there weren't any people of Flat Earth, there won't be any Flat Earth movement. I guess that is like the basic thing, the people themselves. And I guess this is one of the reasons that you are here in this interview, because I wanted to get to know you. I got to know you more from your professional angle, from your administrative side, and this was in the convention. And afterwards, I went down to the activism. It was on the train station over there, and suddenly I saw, like, I was rushing over there. It was raining and everything, and I came about the train station, and I saw Gary. You were standing in a thing along with Ruben, and you were like both explaining to people about Flat Earth and everything. And suddenly I saw you in a different view, okay, as the Flat Earther, enthusiastic, whatever, activist, and explain to people. And this is what I'm actually more I don't know, anxious to discover about you. Okay, what are your thoughts with Flat Earth? What are the things that are most appealing to you? I know what kind of like movies of Flat Earth you like to see. What kind of like topics you like to talk with people. Okay, all of these questions, and I will go I guess slowly with the questions because you can't remember all of them. So tell me first of all, Gary, how did you get familiar with Flat Earth? How long has it been already, and how did you? What made you become a Flat Earther? What kind of like event made it happen?
I actually was on YouTube, and for the life of me, I would love to know what I was looking at. leading up to watching Mark Parsons' cruise. And I suppose I look into conspiracies about UFOs and some conspiracies about 9/11 and the moon landing and some things. And I can't, even though I suppose if there's a way of going back in history and finding out what you're looking at, I'd love to know the video that I was looking at with the one before. But the one thing that happened, and I covered this, I had 5 minutes on stage at the UK convention, and I actually said, because Mark was in the room, and I said, look, I have to say that I'm in Flat Earth because of initially Mark. Obviously, it didn't keep me in Flat Earth because you need to obviously grow and you learn more and things. But the one thing that I found quite amazing is the fact that I got it straight away, because I know a lot of people need time to get used to it. They've got to go through the research and whatever. And I'm not saying I'm clever, I got it straight away. My point is, why did I get it straight away? And the only thing I can think about it is, one, it just felt right for me. And it's almost like a lid, like a veil had been lifted. But is it because I was right? I was almost like doomed to accept. But I think it's actually quite an interesting viewpoint that some people like take a few days to let it sink in, research. And I'm curious, because I know some people said about blood types, is it because you're a particular blood type you're more able to be open-minded, or is it because the videos I was watching leading up to that? But yeah, to want to know, it was part-time Flat Earth Cruise, and that was 50 months ago.
Okay, good. And I know, from your starting point, okay, once you discovered that, what kind of type of activism you have been involved with, besides putting on the convention? What kind of things that you started to do in real life and not on the social networks or anything like that?
I actually, apart from talking to individuals or a couple of people at a time, the biggest thing I did, which probably matched what we did in Amsterdam, is when we went to Speaker's Corner at Hyde Park in London. I think it was June. Yeah, it was actually June of last year, and it was. I think throughout the day, I think there was never 60 there at any one point, but I think it was about 35, maybe 40. And there's a big photograph, I don't know if you've seen it, a big photograph that I think Roxanne's got access to. It's on some of the Facebook pages. But there was, throughout the day, there were about 60 Earthers, but they came and went at different times, so you never had 60 there at once. But that was there. We obviously did what we did in Amsterdam and spoke to the public and whatever. And it's not something that I actually feel is my, it's not that I can't do it. It's not to say that I don't enjoy it when I'm there. But like, for instance, what they're doing now on the tour, doing it every day for 3 hours, 4 hours, it would just wear me out. Because we all got our different strengths. Like, for instance, a lot of people wouldn't either want to, or couldn't fund, or they wouldn't want to take on the responsibility of a convention, whereas I personally wouldn't want to go around Europe doing activism for 2 weeks, even though I think what they're doing is fantastic. Yeah. It's not. And what I think, it's almost like an orchestra, isn't it? If you had everyone who wanted to play the bass, everyone wanted to drum the drum, bang the drums, then you could have a boring orchestra. But you need all those different elements of, the instant woodwind and the different guitar and all the different parts of an orchestra to make it sound beautiful. That's what we need in Earth. You don't want everyone doing the same thing, like experiments. If you go with different things, then one experiment for somebody could inspire somebody else to do a different experiment. So you do need the differences. But yes, I'm not massively into activism, but I'm not against it. I just don't choose to do. It's not my calling to do it a lot, but we do it now and again. And obviously, as you said, you saw me do it. And I suppose in a way it was a bit strange to you, because you got to know me on the phone, reference coming to the convention. Then you saw I was the host over that day, and obviously around at the campsite. And then obviously then you saw a slightly different side, which I hadn't even thought about until you said it. A slightly different side to me at the agriculture on Sunday. So that's actually quite interesting that you thought it was different, which I'm sure I can understand what you're saying. It was different.
Anyway, it's lovely to hear those things, and I quite frankly think that you wouldn't fit in the Globe Light tour with your height. I think the bus is too small for you. So it's a good thing that you do what you do. And I personally kind of like paid attention but noticed that in this flat earth, whoever is like involved that, it's kind of like a group of people that each one has a particular type of talent or a particular type of interest, and it's good that you're describing it like an orchestra or something like that. It's kind of like reminds me also like why lots of flat earthers are also like musicians, because they work as an orchestra. Okay, everyone is like doing another thing, and they all like doing together. So in some way, to create music is quite similar as creating I don't know, flat earth awareness in some way.
And maybe Saturday when I was, by the way, I raised up the phone and it's on some sort of cup just to raise it up. And hopefully the sound was actually all right. But maybe, and I'm not saying I was, but maybe I was the conductor at the convention, because I was like the link between all the different speakers and whatever. But I'm nobody special. I'm really not. There's so many people do so much more than me. I'm just literally a bit part player. But I do my best to do what I like to think that I'm all right at, really. So, and because we've done 2 conventions now, and the thing is, even though Robbie has he's done Canada where he lives, and he's also done America, I was actually saying to Didi the other day that we've done something a little bit unique, is that we've actually both did a convention in another country that we don't live in. Okay, he's in Belgium, up the road, and I'm in the UK, but nobody that I'm aware of on this flat plane has actually done a convention in a different country to where they live. So I'm gonna have that for Didi and I. We're gonna have that. If there was a trophy for it, I'm gonna claim it.
If you say that you are the conductor, you need to have some kind of ego amount, a little bit, just a little bit of ego. You deserve it.
Yeah, but like I said, Joe, I'm nobody special. I mean, do I feel that do I feel I can do a good job in certain things? Yes. Am I good at other things? No. Like, for instance, if you gave me a script and you said to me, right, Gary, I want you to read the script and you've got to try and deliver it in a natural way, I'm stuffed. I can't do it. But if you said to me, right, just talk about your thoughts and how you got into Flat Earth and what you felt about the convention, then that's a natural. I'm not like an actor where an actor would do it to a script. I can't do that. I need to be shackle free. And if I'm given like a blank piece of paper, then I can hopefully perform. But there's other people who do exactly the same as me, and they can do, some of them do a better job. But it's all down to inclination, isn't it? Some people could do it, but they just wouldn't want to take the risk, or they wouldn't want to put in the effort. But they're doing something else. So I can't say that mine is better than theirs. It's just that we're all part of the jigsaw, but we're all different parts, aren't we?
Yeah. The fact is that as long as there's no leader involved, okay, so no one can do anything better than the other, okay. If there's like no leader involved, so everybody are equal, everybody doing their own things, and no one is like better than the other. So this is like, I think the message that I got from Flat Earth, which is kind of like not related to Flat Earth, okay, that the way that people work together without a leader is kind of like astonishing, and can work. It can actually work in any kind of like organization, a company, a state, whatever. Okay, we should try this. I think like without any leader, everyone will do whatever is destined to do. Okay, and from that point forward, I think that the result will be much, much better. This is, I guess, my philosophy over here.
I just need to add to that, though, that at the same time, and even though I agree with you, the one thing that does amaze me within Flat Earth is the disharmony. And sometimes people, like, for instance, I've been attacked put on a convention. I know that Jason has been attacked for like doing the Go tour. But the thing is, the people that are doing this, the keyboard warriors, are they saying it from a point of they got a valid point, or are they just causing trouble for the sake of causing trouble? And it makes you wonder if some of these people are gatekeepers and they're there to actually deliberately cause trouble, or is it that Flat Earth attracts a certain breed of person that you're distrusting of the government, you're distrusting of the establishments, and then obviously then something like a convention comes up that's obviously is almost like a bit of for want of a better word, it's almost like a corporate thing that you're dealing with the corporate world in the sense that we've got to go to the OBA, we've got to organise a contract with them, we've got to agree on certain payment terms. We have to work to a certain business model. And because of that, are we then, as far as these keyboard warriors are concerned, are they actually thinking that we are part of the system, we are the problem, or we're trying to make money, or we're just trying to, control the narrative? But are they trying to control the narrative by telling us not to do it? Because I'm not telling them not to be a keyboard warrior. I'm not telling them not to do activism. I'm not telling them not to do a convention or not to go and talk to their friends about that. But they're trying to tell me not to put on a convention, and I find that quite interesting. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that one. It's kind of like interesting. I know. Are you talking about the authority, the government, whoever like trying to stop you with doing those things from the outside, or like from the flat Earth world inside?
Well, that actually needs two answers, doesn't it? Because one, when you say government, you could actually say that if you look at YouTube, they're trying to censor us. Like, for instance, the other day, I was actually on the live feed when Roxanne and Jason were doing the hangout with the guys from Templeton. I tried to press like on the actual, when you can like or dislike. I was trying to press like and it wouldn't accept it. It literally accepted a second, and it would drop off. I then came out of YouTube, went back into YouTube to look at another channel for a slightly different subject. It accepted it straight away. So from you call it government, it's actually, no, is government involved? Probably, I'm sure they are. But from an establishment point of view, like YouTube, they are trying to censor us, they're trying to restrict us. But when I say within Flat Earth, I'm not even saying that these people are definitely Flat Earthers, but they're people that are claiming to be Flat Earthers, and they probably are Flat Earthers, but they seem to have a problem. And is it a genuine, they have a problem, as in they feel they've got a legitimate problem, or are they gatekeepers? I can expand on that further if you want me to say about gatekeepers. Just on a side note on this, I want to mention this. Jason, when he heard that Dee and I were going to do the UK convention some time back, and he didn't know the likes of Roxanne, he didn't know Robin, Charlotte, and he didn't obviously know what we were up to, he was told by somebody within that we were trouble, that there was going to be a shill fest, that we were just going to be, I don't know what we were going to try and put on, but he was so incensed with what he'd been told that he was going to produce banners, he was going to come out, he was going to protest outside of the actual the event. And when he didn't realise afterwards that we were the good guys, he was dumbfounded by the fact that he was not only going up against the wrong people, or he would have, he was also manipulated by other people that were like trying to be like gatekeepers, trying to dictate to him what he should and shouldn't do. They weren't telling him to protest, but they were just saying, "Oh, don't go. It'd be really bad. You shouldn't go there. It's a shill fest. All the wrong people are going." And he bought it hook, line, and sinker. And it's actually very interesting how people can be manipulated inside and outside of Flat Earth.
Yeah, I agree with you. It kind of like reminds me. I sorry that I'm going to this direction, but kind of like reminds me how people see like Israel sometime from other countries, that they're telling you no, don't go there, and it's kind of like a dangerous place, and kind of like reminding me of the same thing. But leave Israel and politics aside for a second. Next question from me to you, Gary, will be: what are your fields of interest inside the Flat Earth? What are you, particularly involved with? What kind of like Flat Earth proof interests you a lot? What like convince you a lot? What are you like usually talk with people? What helps you explaining your Flat Earth perspective to people that don't know what Flat Earth is?
I think to break it down, the first thing you need to do, if I was talking to say somebody who knew nothing about it, is to find out what their thoughts are. And it was funny actually, Robin Davison came over from Canada last year, and we were talking after the convention in the UK, and he said that one of the first things to really do with somebody is to actually ask them, do they believe that we landed on the moon? Because if they say yes, and you'll obviously have a chat with them, and if they still, after 5 minutes, you check with them, it's clear that they are absolutely convinced that we definitely landed on the moon. It's no point really talking to them about Flat Earth, because if they're not, if they're not open-minded enough to talk about, to have a debate about the moon, and they can see weaknesses of it, that doesn't mean that they're going to try. It's just that if you were talking to them and they're not receptive to at least talk about that, it's no point going on to her. But if you do get to that, and you talk about the moon, you talk about 9/11, you talk about other conspiracies that are out there, then obviously it's a natural thing to move on to talking about her. But to answer your question about what in particular, I think about the curvature, the fact that when a boat goes out of vision, out of range, when it goes on the horizon, and then obviously it disappears, and where people think. And I personally would like to see that when like the Globe Tour are doing their thing, I would love a situation that next year I would like them to be like this, like an iPad or something like that, where when somebody says, "Oh, you can see the boat disappear," if you actually show them the video there and then of the boat disappearing, and in 10 seconds or 10 minutes, you zoom in with a thing on it. Okay, it doesn't mean that they actually trust the content, but it hopefully stops them in and tracks the price. And it's like the spin of the earth. I mean, I'm actually, I know you haven't come into this, that my plans for the future, but there's some experiments that I want to put together, and I want to present them at spring. And it's to do with this massive question marks about the spin, some question marks about the center, there's some question marks about the ISS. So I've got all these different things that I want to do, some thought observations. I want to do a video that materials out, and also I want to do an experiment that I don't think has actually been done within Planet before. And I don't want to discuss what that experiment is because I want to show people visually, because if I show you visually, it has more power than just talking about it. But there's some things I'd like to think would be, head scratching, something that they look at it. So I'm not a massive, I don't do really many experiments. I have actually done this one, but I'm now going to expand on it. And I did go into Hungary last year, February of last year. It was freezing, but we went there with FE4, and we did a laser experiment across the lake there. So I am involved, and I'm involved in FE4, and I'm obviously involved in that. But I have my moments when I take time out, and sometimes I do nothing for 2 months, because it gets, I wouldn't say boring, but it gets tedious with all the backlighting and all the trouble. And sometimes I want to do other things, because I feel it renews some energy. I don't want to just actually be on it 24 hours a day, because I don't think it's healthy.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating, and if you do want to do experiments, so well done, and I wish you all the luck that you'll have. And it's very important. The spectrum is so wide. It's like whatever you can do on the flat Earth. And tell us a little bit about your future plans with the conventions. I understood exactly plans or anything that you have in mind to be involved with in the upcoming year.
Well, so I just go back a sec, not to what I just said, but if I just go back in time a little bit. When Didi and I did the UK convention, because it obviously lost money and it was hard work, even though it was a blast, it was really great. It was so much hard work. It was like neither of us really wanted to do anything. And then all of a sudden we went to Denver last year, and we both were thinking, actually, we're listening. And then Robin spoke to us about doing the UK. And at the time I was happy to help, and I was happy to put him on the scene, but I wasn't really actively looking at doing anything more. Then I went to that Denver, and I just got a bug again. And Didi was also thinking the same thing, and she'd always, where we'd gone over to Amsterdam before, and we were thinking, we'd like to do something. It was always one of those things that, it was quite funny actually, you might not think it's funny, but I thought it was funny, that some people thought that Didi was either my partner, or she was actually just helping, and that wasn't the case. One, she wasn't a partner, she wasn't just, she was actually active, normal, actually taking the lead. With help with the UK convention. So I think, and I can't speak for Didi because we've never had this discussion, but it was like her baby to do something in Amsterdam, and I knew Robin was doing the UK, and she said, look, I'd like to do Amsterdam, I would like your help, would you like to come on board? And I thought, yeah, actually, after Dallas, Denver, not Dallas, I was excited about the idea of it, and obviously we had a chat with Robin, and obviously there was an element of clashing, but we're trying to restrict that, reduce it. But then when Didi said this is what she'd like to do, we started to have long chats about what we wanted to do. But then moving on at the convention, I don't think we were there at the room at the time, but somebody asked me, were we looking at doing the convention next year? And the answer was no. But at the time, one, we thought, again, it's going to lose money and it's hard work and whatever. But since then, the amount of harmony, the amount of warmth from people, there are now loads of people, like for instance, you're now connected to the band. You've got Jeremy now talking to Rodrigo, he's going to do a hangout with Iru because they spent more time together. There's loads of different things that come out of it. And one thing I wanted to mention, just in case you didn't bring it up as a question, is a lot of people get it wrong about conventions. They actually think, what's the point of going to a convention? I've heard it all before. Don't learn anything. What's the point? One, you actually do learn some bits and pieces, even if it's only a reminder of things. But that's quite a part. The main thing is it's the connections that are made. If you think about it, you and I are talking now because of the convention. Loads of them are doing things. And to answer your question...
No, it's actually what you said right now. I want to stop you for a second. Is just exactly my thought in mind whenever I came over to the Amsterdam convention. The connection with the people. This is what I explained at the beginning of our interview.
Exactly.
That the connection with the people. Once you meet a person in person, okay, you get to talk with him eye to eye, and language to language, whatever. This is like it's a special moment. Okay, it's I learned media, and kind of like we have this theory in media that as long as you got like all kinds of types of media, you got like television, radio, and internet, and WhatsApp and whatever. And as long as you keep the media more distant than the man, okay, than the actual meeting of the people, the communication is getting worse. Okay, meaning the most pure and honest communication is between two people getting together and speaking with each other. Also now, like this is what I'm trying to do over here in this interview. It's a problem that you are in England and I'm in Israel, but I'm trying to keep it as close as possible to the human connection, between people, which is the actual conversation. And these things only can happen in conventions like that, or like in meetings, or between actual flat earthers. This is at least my perspective.
Yeah, sure. I just want to finish off though that. Specifically reference the question about what are my plans, apart from the experiments that I want to do a presentation for it, is that I've decided that I'm going to put on a convention in the it's 99% certain it's going to be in the UK. It's not going to be Flat Earth, it's going to be a combination of Flat Earth and conspiracy. Yeah. And in talking to Dee, just to get her thoughts on it, because even though she doesn't want to be actively involved, she is going to be on the scenes at a low level. I don't know how much, it may be more, it may be less, I don't know, but she's got no major plans to do something, but she is going to offer support in any way she can. She suggested that because it's a combination of the two, why don't I consider calling it something like Question Everything, which I thought was a great idea. So I've got in touch with the guy who organised the Question Everything convention or conference in 2019, in February 2019 this year, Joe Garcia, and I asked him last night if it would be okay if I can use the Question Everything concept, even though he doesn't really own it. I just thought it was a courteous thing to do, and he said, "Yep, sounds good to me." So it's basically there's a few people I'm working with, and as long as nobody's got any objections, which I can't see it, because I'm basically driving it, but some people are helping in one way or another, some more than others. It's going to be called QE UK.
All right, good. Sounds very cool. Definitely going to be interested in that.
Yeah, I'll just say sorry to interrupt. I hope it's going to be in September. That's what I'm aiming for. And at the moment, I'm working with quite a prestigious location. Obviously, if I can get it financially, it's viable. It would be quite a nice venue. And the funny thing is, it's actually going to be in a university, which makes it even funnier. And I love the idea of being in university. So I'm working on it now, just trying to dot the I's, cross the T's, see if it works viably. If there are options like where people can stay, because you stay there, the cost is quite prohibitive. But it's something, and we've also got a fair bit of interest from speakers. I just want to mention this now. We've got a few flat earthers. One of them coming from America is showing interest. We've got somebody looking like coming from Australia, somebody from Argentina, but you probably can guess who that is. But also we've got somebody talking about vaccines, we've got somebody else talking about 5G, and we've got also Mark Evans agreed to continue his talks about resonance, which I think is actually a very, very big thing.
Where are the chemical airplanes, the chemtrails? Where are they?
What you mean? Where's the speaker?
Yeah, where are the chemtrails? Yeah, where are the speakers? Like,
I mean, there are spaces left, and obviously you were showing interest in actually maybe and doing Hebrew stroke the links to Flat Earth, and that's obviously something that I would definitely be looking at. Maybe you can take part as well.
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to. London and England were always nice to me, as I remember. Been there a few times, and I would love to come and speak about. This is actually was my first field of expertise when I started to get into flat Earth, like Hebrew and Bible Hebrew and Bible proofs for flat Earth and all kinds of things that I kind of like found out that people who don't know Hebrew don't really understand all kinds of like concepts that are related to the Bible and things like that that are really interest me because I'm kind of like a language researcher, my Hebrew, my original Hebrew language. So I think I can do like a nice presentation about this and all kinds of like different examples, and I think this is a very fascinating thing that not much of the of the flat earthers are involved with, and I think it's quite a unique field in all this flat earth. And actually, since what you mentioned over there, Union Convention, I'm not ready still to tell all the details, but we are seriously think about doing the convention that we kind of like thought of in Amsterdam, along with all kinds of other flat earthers over there, and we actually thought about putting a convention over here in the Holy Land in Israel. We even get kinds of like ideas on how to promote it and how to what kind of like atmosphere it should have, and because I think that Israel is kind of like a unique country if you want to do a flat earth convention, because it's kind of like a country that holds kind of like secret places, holy places and places from the Bible. So it's going to be, we're planning for something which is supposed to be bigger than a convention, some kind of like call it a journey, if you will. I don't know which kind of like word to give it, and we are, I guess, in the next few days or so, we are gonna summon all our flat earthers and see how we are putting this thing together, and we will get you, of course, notice about it, and is our assignment for this upcoming 2020 year.
So this is your mission, because that's what I was thinking. When some people are saying it's like 2020 vision, I actually think it's like 2020 mission. So it's a slight play on words, but yeah, you can have that. You can have that title if you want it. 2020 mission. You can have.
We are actually thinking about. Sorry.
No, I was saying I'd be interested in finding out more, and if it obviously worked out dates-wise, I definitely would be. I'd love to help. If you need like ideas and just thoughts along the way, I'd love to help. And if you find that you're putting on something that's tangible that I could be involved with physically, and it worked out dates-wise, I would love to come over as well. So I'm definitely up for that.
That was the greatest gift we got in Amsterdam. I'm not talking about the convention, about the idea of the convention. The greatest gift that we got in Amsterdam is to get this promise and this cooperation from people that they will help us, and that will get the word out, and just cooperate with us in any kind of way. For instance, we saw like 2 days ago, Jeranism just spoke about Amsterdam and mentioned us in the end of the show. And to be honest, to be actually honest and humble, okay, for us the Jeranism is putting us over his show, and he speaks about us and everything. This means the word for us. It's kind of like it promotes our name. Israel is a really small country that it kind of like we get all the media attention over here that is usually a bad media attention, and to get like a good media attention about any kind of topic, and for us it's really a huge thing. So this great gift that we got in Amsterdam was I guess this human connection that you're talking about, and the cooperation, the future cooperation that probably going to be, and I'm fully trusting on this cooperation, because I know flat earthers are usually a man at the word, and then the man that usually stand behind what they're saying, and so I'm quite enthusiastic for that to see how it goes, and I'm sure that we also can like produce a very fine convention over here and to host you nicely and to get you even into I know spiritual enlightenment mode once you step on the soil of the Holy Land.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to add, I was going to mention to you about, did you see some bits and pieces on the journalism show, and I thought that was really wonderful. And one of the, if I had to like pick, I don't know, if I had to pick, say, 10 highlights from the event, I mean, obviously there's loads of that, there's loads more than even 10. But if I had to pick, say, my top 3, without a shadow of a doubt, I think, the both of you coming over, it wasn't the fact that you were friendly upfront and you kept in touch and you wanted to come over, and because I've had loads of people do that, so that doesn't stand out. But what stood out is that you started doing the interviews, you interviewed me, you interviewed other people. That is since then meant that you've now been connected with Roxanne and Jason. You came to the tour thing, you obviously did the convention the day, you did interviews. You've now been on Jeremy's show, and so what I love about all this is how you integrated into it, and you've got massive benefits in getting involved, because not only did you enjoy, from what I can tell, you enjoyed the weekend, but you have benefited, which in turn will help you ESH News and help the people in Israel to see this. And it doesn't matter where you come from. You could have come from France. You could have come from Africa. It doesn't matter where you come from. It's not because of the fact you're from Israel. It's the fact that somebody came in and maybe your involvement with the Flat Earth is very small outside of your country, and now all of a sudden you're now connected to a lot of people. And I actually think that means applauding, because I love the fact that what you did, coming over, both of you, interviewed us, got connected with other people, and now what you're doing, and you're now inspired to do a convention. I mean, all because Edie decided to do Amsterdam, of which I then said, yeah, I agree, let's do it. And now it's led to this. I mean, they're the little things, the little seeds that grow into acorn trees, into trees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was all because of you made the effort to come over, and I took my help to Roden.
I know everything like that revolves around Flat Earth has this sense of destiny in some way. In some way that, for instance, I feel, for instance, that every kind of like profession or job or thing that I studied in my life kind of like serves me once I approach Flat Earth. It's kind of like all connected together, and also I have this, mysterious sense of destiny that this is how it should have been. So, and Amsterdam was a major part of that in my perspective, and it was
I just want that thing, because there's a lot of negativity that happens around Flat Earth, and sometimes we get attacked, and sometimes people they boycott or they just cause trouble. You need things like this to try and balance the books, because to have something like this that is like warms your heart, it helps you to.
Gives you power, gives you the energy to fight your ordinary battles that you have with non-flat earthers or whatever, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. But no, so it was great meeting you. I really love what you guys are trying to do now, and I think they're both that you've now connected to quite a few people. So when I see you talking to Roxanne, or Jeremy, who's on his show, or you now talking to me, and doing the company Israel, isn't that wonderful? Yeah. That is just such a beautiful thing to hear.
Marvelous. All right, I guess Gary, sorry. Always confusing. Why? Because John is the first name, right? You know John's
name, don't you? That's my middle name. My surname is Heather.
Oh yeah.
But I've never used it on social media, and in that it's not a secret. I just don't use it. So in normal life, if that's the right way of putting it. So, but yeah, you can call it.
The thing is, I went to on the air with with Paul and Roxanne and Paul on the Plane show last week. It was quite nice, and I was quite like jealous of them because they have this great wrestler's name. They have Paul on the Plane and Roxanne the Globalist Denier. So I was quite envying with them. And I decided to adopt my own wrestler's name. So from now on, I'll be called Near ESH News Shoshany. I just need to know the right song and the entrance with the fireworks and the smoke, and I'm done.
A big cabaret show, just to introduce your name.
Yeah.
Have a load of dancing girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I care that you went onto the show and mentioned Nigerian, and I know that Roxanne is talking to you, and you're obviously talking to other people, and I think that's great. So well done.
All right, good, good. Thank you very much, Gary, and it was a pleasure having you over here in our first interview of ESH News.